There
Well,
we
thank
go.
you. We got a nice little crowd here. Thanks for being here, everybody. So, I guess the big story is that everybody's concerned we're going to lose a date here, huh?
Yeah.
That's all of you New Englanders want to talk about.
Yeah,
I know.
that's just
First thing Dale told me and Amy told
posturing.
me. But you know, one thing I can say is this. I've been driving around here for 2 or 3 days, and I've seen well over $1 million worth of upgrades. You know, they filled in the pond in the middle. They fixed this back here. So I don't think you have to worry about NASCAR ever leaving here. Because all of you, that's right. All of you fans pack these grandstands in. I do think we'll, he, obviously Burton, buys tracks so he can get a date. Now, here's what's funny about the deal. If you go back in time, who else bought a racetrack so they could get a date? Well, that's right. So history repeats itself. Bob and Gary Bear, of course Bob, the father, they bought North Wilkesboro so they could get a date. But I think we're going to be good here. I tell people all the time, look, I'd much rather come to Loudoun, New Hampshire twice a year than go to California.
Yeah.
This area of the United States, all of you really love your racing. We've got a lot of modified people up here. Everybody loves the Bush East, or what do we call it now?
Nationwide?
No, it's not nationwide.
K&N Pro.
Camping World, K&N World.
K&N World, there you go.
I was taught for 7 years to call it Lowe's Motor Speedway. Then they just told me, no, you don't call it that no more. You're going to call it Charlotte Motor Speedway because Lowe's doesn't sponsor the racetrack anymore. So the East Series, which is the Bush East to me, just easier, has changed its sponsors quite a bit. But a lot of great racing up here, and you fans always come out and pack those grandstands. And I thought it was funny. They said, we still got 10,000 tickets left for the Cup race. Oh my God, it's horrible. I'm like, are you crazy? You should see some of these racetracks we go to. It was devastating. We went to Bristol, which is sold out all the time. It's like a country club, or you have to wait for people to die to get a ticket. But there were 30,000 empty seats at the first Bristol race. It was mind-boggling. We looked, and it was just completely empty. So anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way right away. I know a lot of people are concerned about your race up here. I think we'll always have one here for sure. And if I had my picks, I'd say, well, just take both of them from California, But I don't know. Yeah.
Amen.
But I do like Ontario Mills Mall out there. That's why I started buying my tennis shoes. And me and Kim were having a good time out there. Well, so today's race, a little bit of a bummer for me. Our race was going just what we expected. We were going to be best in class, and we were running 21st with 15 laps to go. And damn it, the left rear axle broke. I was coming to take the green flag, and actually wasn't even getting ready to start. Was just in third gear, just started to kind of pull up and put it in second. And hell, I about spun out. I'm like, what in the world? And so I thought, well, maybe I got stuff all over my tires. And so we got ready to go green flag, and it wouldn't go. So broke either a drive plate or something in the left rear axle. Still the same place in the points, but a bummer of a day. But I just posted on Facebook. I said, a lot of people come up to me and go, Kenny, you have the worst luck. And I said, no, I really don't. I've been racing a long time. I've had a great career so far. My gosh. I was, NASCAR gave me this stat last year. They said out of a little over 4,000 drivers, I'm 15th in the history of the sport with starts. So, people think, I always say that, they'll say that this is half empty or half full. I know a lot of people that can look at things very negatively. I am bummed out about today's race, but I thought I'd make the point that my career has been wonderful. And, won 9 races and 10 poles and 3-time most popular driver, and pushed Taylor Arch to his last win. Pushed my brother Rusty to his only win at Daytona. So we got some second place finishes. We're no A driver, hell, I pray every day, man, why couldn't I have been Jeff Gordon? Okay, Tony Stewart. Dale Jr. Jimmy Johnson. Johnson. I love y'all. Kyle Busch. I don't know. I think the best you like so far was Tony Stewart. But anyway, things have been going good. We just came off of a great 3-day trip with my Federated Auto Parts mod. Has anybody ever seen any of my dirt cars? Speaking of my race car, has anybody checked out my new sponsor this year, Federated Auto Parts? Damn good looking car, blue, and I love that day glow orange. Is JR Bishop here today? Where's JR? Could you give JR a round of applause in the back there? Raise your hand, JR. JR he's in charge of motorsports and events, and he called me, and we started a conversation. It started with my great friend, my other brother, Kenny Schrader, and yep. You all know that, don't you? You do know that I have a fourth brother, or a third brother. It's Rusty Mike and Kenny Schrader. Actually, since you gave me a little round of applause for Kenny Schrader, I talk to Kenny every day. He's racing tonight in Farmington, Missouri. He raced last night in Granite City, run third. But Kenny called me up and said, man, you know, Federated is looking to run 8 or 9 nationwide races last year. Do you think your team can do it? Kenny, you're the only one I trust. And I said, oh gosh, I'd be on my knees. That would be great. So anyway, thanks to JR back there. I owe him the world. Once we got that together, thank you, JR. Once we were able to put together those 8 nationwide races, JR called me up and says, Herm, what about your TV shirt and your dirt car? I said, oh, music to my ears. So I had a great sponsor before Jags. They were with me 3 years, but they had a rough year. And I couldn't go no more, but I sure do love my relationship. The people at Federated are true racers, and my dirt car looks really good. We won 3 nights last week. Where'd we go? If you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, I just tell everybody where I'm at all the time. Man, I've had some journeys. We run third, almost won in Mason City, Iowa. Now, there's another name for Mason City, Iowa. It's Clear Lake, Iowa. Does anybody know what Clear Lake, Iowa is? That's where Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper lost their lives at that airport. And I took off from that damn airport, and I thought about it the whole time. It was kind of spooky feeling, you know. I watched that movie, but so I took off from there Wednesday night or Thursday morning to come up here, and I tell everybody I'll go to these dirt races, and they're like, "My gosh, you're here. You were just on TV yesterday. How'd you get it?" I'm like, "I got on an airplane." And here I am, But when I leave the dirt tracks, I take my dirt shoes, put them in a plastic bag, and show up here. And couldn't wait to get here. I missed my beautiful wife. There she is. God, she's good looking, ain't she? Yeah. Oh, one more thing before I recognize everybody that's helped out with the fan club. It's funny because Dale Johnson. I wanted to make fun of the New Englanders on my Facebook, but I couldn't figure out how to write chowder or lobster.
Lobster.
D-A-H. How do you spell that?
D-A-H at the end.
What was it?
C-H-O-W-D-A-H.
No, chowder.
Chowder, lobster. But anyway, don't want to make fun of me and Kim, because we're like a bunch of kids. We're going to Loudon. Oh, goody, we're going to eat some lobster, So we went up here to, McCracken's. Macris. We went to, that place too. We went there the first night, had a great time. The owner was really good to us. And we ate it up, and then we went to Newton's last night. Ain't that the name of it? Newark too, that place too. Went there too, had a great time. So I could still eat lobster tonight because I know when we go to Daytona. Speaking of that, Kim, by Carliner and all the teams, NASCAR said, okay, we're going to unveil the new car at Daytona. We're going to open up the track Tuesday for tech inspection. Wednesday, there's going to be a practice from 1 to 5. You don't have to be there just to get used to the new car. Well, everybody's saying we don't want to do that. So now my Carliner says, we're not even going to practice on Wednesday. So I canceled 2 dirt races for nothing. I could have went, but anyway, I ought to go home. I ought to come from St. Louis and go home if it don't cost us too much, change plane tickets, because I need to pay the bills, because I've been gone forever. And what'll happen is I'll get back home and I'll pay the bills, I'll send them in, and then I'll get these notices. You're late. And I'm like, no, I'm not late. I was out of town, man. But, hey, listen. Brenda, raise your hands. Raise them both. Put your hands in the air if you're a true player. Brenda, thank you so much. She works so hard on the fan club. If it weren't for her, and of course a lot of other people, but Brenda is the one that runs the fan club. She's in there every day, and it means the world to us. So Brenda, thank you very much. Thank you. And of course, the queen, the president, the person that started the Kenny Wallace fan club, my wife, Kim. She works hard. Raise your hands, honey. Yeah, she's the best. I always tell, everybody's teased Kim for years, she should be a party organizer. And of course, I'm looking at Dale, and he knows that without this group up here in the Northeast, Dale and Amy, stand up, you two. Stand up, don't be shy. Dale and Amy. Dale and my relationship's gone on forever, probably 22 years at least. Amy, I've kind of known Amy, I don't know, 10 years. Amy, her claim to fame here lately is she writes for frontstretch.com, but she takes care of the website, some of the stories. And
she tweeted your whole race
today. And she tweeted my whole race today. Thank you, that was nice. You know, for the people that complain, we fill your pages up, it's no big deal. It just goes away, you know? Yeah. So I remember, I guess about 3 months ago, somebody's like, you're filling my page up. Quit retweeting. I'm like, is it really a big deal? I mean, it just goes off your page. I mean, I get over, I follow Kyle Petty and Darrell Walter. My God, they can fill up 2 pages, but it doesn't matter. You just push more and go back. It's like the people have to erase it or something. It's just a Rolodex. It just goes on and on. So thank you, Amy, for doing that. So well, let's talk racing. I guess I can go on and on, but you know, question and answering is probably the best. I want to get all of you involved. So once again, I can talk forever. Let's start with Q&A. I want every one of you to ask me what you want to know. You came to the fan club meeting. Now remember, I know everything. I know everything about your driver. So let's go. First one. Yes, sir. What's going on with Jimmy Spencer? Come to the speed stage tomorrow. Jimmy Spencer will be on the show tomorrow. Jimmy, what they were looking for was more content. That means more TV shows. So they said, hey, Spence, we want to give you your own show. And they were going to air it at 7:30 on Mondays called What's the Deal? And then all of a sudden they got another show called the Racing Chef. And then they got this other show, Race to Fame and Race. Anyway, before you knew it, they had Jimmy's darn show pushed back to like 10:30. And I said, my God, Monday night at 10:30. So Jimmy's employed by Speed. They canceled his damn show. I thought it was a great show. It was too late. I love the crying towel part. It's my favorite part. But Jimmy and me are like this. We're good friends. The only difference between me and Spence is he can piss off people real easy. And me, I just tend to be a little nicer. But Jimmy's a good guy. He really is. He just grew up tough, you know. And he doesn't apologize for the way he is. But he's still employed with Speed. He gets paid whether he does shows or not, so don't worry about him. But he'll come tomorrow and root him on. He'll be there at the show. Next. Yes, sir, you right here. How come Kenny, now say that one more time.
Why don't you come up here? Why don't you come
How come Kenny doesn't come up here with the dirt car? Well, you know what? We were in Virginia. We were in Waynesboro, Virginia. Kenny won. As far as the great Northeast, you got to remember, man, it's a long-ass haul up here. I mean, y'all are up here already. You know, our shop's in St. Louis, Missouri. You're talking about a 32-hour drive.
I drove to Martinsville.
Yeah, but that's downhill. he said, I drove to Martinsville, but you just got to stick it in neutral. You just coast all the way down. Schrader comes up here every once in a while. You need to talk to your local promoter and have him call me or Kenny, because Kenny has ran a lot in New York. I mean, you know, Kenny Schrader drives everything. And he's got a super late model mod. He's drove East Coast, you know, mods, barefoot Bob McCready type cars, and and I drove them. I drove them like 3 times. But it's just really the reason we don't get a lot up here. No lie, our dirt shops are in St. Louis, and it's about 32-hour drive because it's 20 hours from here to Charlotte, right?
14.
14?
16.
Okay, hey, anyway, it's 2 days.
You can do it.
So yeah, but Kenny's racing all the time. He races every single week. You know what's funny about life? Because we only pay attention to what we pay attention to. So if you know a website, you pay attention to it. But you can check it out all the time and go to Kenny Schrader's Facebook page. And I'm sure you'll find out what he's up to. His secretary keeps it updated. Kenny's I'll say he's a little old school. He doesn't do like me. He's like, I ain't doing that stuff. But he's got a Facebook page, and you can check him up, see what he's up to. But he's doing a lot of racing. Yes, all the way to the back.
What is the garage's perception of Danica? Because today we had a lovely incident with her PR lady, not having to be the nicest person in the world. Danica, she was nice to us, but her PR lady, totally unprofessional.
Yeah, well, I think everybody heard you. I always repeat the question. Did everybody hear him? Yes, Danica Patrick. She's a sweetheart. I mean, it's the same thing that Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson are going through. They haven't done anything wrong. They might give an interview that somebody might not like, but sometimes the people surrounding them try to be a little too big, try to get a little too excited. Kind of like, the river's rising, let's run around, let's run in circuit. The river's rising, that kind of weird, let's get excited for nothing. And a lot of the PR people tend to overdo it. Like police officers, I mean, come on, we need a highway patrolman to protect Danica. It's ridiculous. She flew up her commercial. She doesn't have a private airplane. It's just a big to-do about a girl that is a good race car driver. The way I look at it, she's a sweetheart. She hasn't done anything wrong. I mean, I guarantee there's kids here that were raised up that probably got a little rough attitude, but she's a girl trying to fit in a man's world, and I think she's doing a hell of a job. But, I really do. Plus you have to understand that I'm probably not the right person to talk bad about a lady race car driver, because my niece Chrissy Wallace races, and she's really good. So, I'm not a male chauvinist. I got no problem. My wife taught me years ago that ladies are smarter than men. I hope a lady's the president one day, and we us men can sit on our asses. Let them run the show for a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. But so I feel I have a positive view of her, and I just happen to know everybody, and there's just really not really bad people. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. When we met her yesterday, when there was no police and her PR lady was
Right.
there, nicest pot. But when
Right.
her PR lady's around and she's shoving people up, I mean, it would look like Joey Logano's father around.
Now you're talking my language. I told Joe we were at Eldora, and Joey